The Menopause Blueprint, a doctor's system-by-system guide to your body's next chapter. Menopause is one of the most significant and universal transitions in a woman's life, yet it is often discussed in hushed tones or with a sense of dread. As a physician specializing in women's health, I want to demystify this process and reframe it. Menopause is not a disease or a failure of the body. It is a natural biological milestone, the clinical endpoint of the aging of your ovaries. While the transition, known as perimenopause, can bring a host of challenging symptoms, the process itself is a normal part of life, akin to puberty in reverse. The changes that occur are systemic, meaning they affect your entire body from your brain to your bones to your heart. Understanding what is happening on a physiological level is the most powerful tool you have. It replaces fear with knowledge, allows you to anticipate and manage symptoms effectively, and empowers you to partner with your healthcare provider to create a proactive plan for your long-term health and well-being. This article will serve as a comprehensive system-by-system tour of what truly happens to your body during this profound transformation. Show your support for women's health with a quick like, share, and subscribe. The hormonal epicenter, the hypothalamic pituitary ovarian HPO axis. The central event of menopause is the cessation of ovarian function, driven by a fundamental shift in the body's primary hormonal communication network, the hypothalamic pituitary ovarian HPO axis. This intricate feedback loop, which has governed the menstrual cycle for decades, begins to lose its regulatory precision. The process starts in the brain, where the hypothalamus releases gonadotropin-releasing hormone. This signals the pituitary gland to produce follicle-stimulating hormone FSH and luteinizing hormone LH. These hormones then travel to the ovaries, stimulating follicular growth and the production of the key female sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone. This process begins with the natural depletion of the ovarian reserve, the finite number of eggs a woman is born with. As a woman enters her 40s, the quantity and quality of these eggs decline, and the ovaries become less responsive to the hormonal signals from the brain. In an attempt to overcome this resistance, the pituitary gland ramps up its production of FSH, leading to the characteristically high FSH levels seen in perimenopause and menopause. This leads to the hormonal chaos of perimenopause, characterized by wildly fluctuating estrogen and progesterone levels. Eventually, the ovaries stop releasing eggs altogether, and menstrual periods cease. Menopause is officially diagnosed after 12 consecutive months without a period. At this point, estrogen and progesterone levels have fallen to a new, stable, and very low baseline that will persist for the rest of a woman's life. It is this profound decline in estrogen that drives the majority of the changes experienced throughout the body, as estrogen is not just a reproductive hormone, but a master regulator with receptors in nearly every tissue. The brain is a primary target of the menopausal transition, as it is highly responsive to estrogen, which acts as a powerful neuromodulator. The fluctuation and eventual loss of this key hormone trigger a cascade of neurological and psychological symptoms as the brain adapts to a new biochemical environment. Thermoregulation and vasomotor symptoms. The hypothalamus, which houses the body's thermostat, is one of the most affected areas. The loss of estrogen's stabilizing influence makes this thermostat hypersensitive, leading to the classic vasomotor symptoms of hot flashes and night sweat. Recent research has pinpointed a specific group of neurons in the hypothalamus, known as KNDY kisspeptin, neurokinin B, dynorphin, neurons as central players in this process. These neurons are negatively regulated by estrogen. When estrogen levels decline, these neurons become hyperactive, leading to an oversecretion of neurokinin B, NKB. This surge of NKB is believed to trigger the brain's heat dissipation response, causing peripheral vasodilation, a hot flash, and a subsequent drop in core body temperature. This is essentially an overreaction to minor changes in core body temperature, launching an aggressive and unnecessary cooling response. This new understanding has led to the development of novel non-hormonal treatments, such as NK3R antagonists, which block the action of NKB and can significantly reduce the frequency and severity of hot flashes. Estrogen plays a vital role in supporting the function of key neurotransmitters and brain regions essential for cognition, It helps regulate serotonin and dopamine, which are crucial for mood, and acetylcholine, which is essential for memory and learning. The fluctuation and decline of estrogen can disrupt these systems, contributing to the frustrating cognitive symptom known as brain fog, which is characterized by word-finding difficulties, short-term memory lapses, and a general feeling of mental slowness. This is not a sign of dementia but a temporary state of inefficient brain energy metabolism, as the brain adapts to a low estrogen environment. Estrogen is a fundamental regulator of glucose transport and utilization in the brain. As estrogen levels fall, the brain's ability to use glucose as its primary fuel source becomes less efficient, creating a temporary energy crisis. Furthermore, estrogen promotes synaptic plasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections, particularly in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, which are critical for memory and executive function. The loss of estrogen temporarily slows this vital process of adaptation and learning, contributing to the cognitive challenges of menopause. Progesterone is a naturally calming and sleep-promoting hormone, largely through its conversion to the neurosteroid allopregnanolone. Allopregnanolone has a benzodiazepine-like effect on the brain, enhancing the activity of the calming neurotransmitter GABA. The loss of progesterone leads to a reduction in this natural sedative effect, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. This hormonal shift, combined with the sleep disruptions from night sweats and increased urinary urgency, leads to the pervasive problem of menopausal insomnia. The skeletal system, the silent threat of bone loss. The impact of menopause on the skeletal system is silent but profound. Bones are in a constant state of remodeling, with old bone being broken down by cells called osteoclasts, and new bone being built by cells called osteoblasts. Estrogen acts as a powerful brake on the activity of the osteoclasts, keeping this process in balance. This is achieved through the RANKL-OPG signaling pathway. Estrogen promotes the expression of osteoprotein, OPG, which blocks the action of receptor activator of nuclear factor Kb ligand, RANKL, a key molecule that stimulates osteoclast formation and activity. When estrogen levels decline during menopause, this brake is released. The osteoclasts become overactive, and the body begins to break down bone much faster than it can rebuild it. This leads to a period of accelerated bone loss, particularly in the first 5 to 7 years after the final menstrual period. If left unchecked, this can lead to osteoporosis, a condition where bones become thin, porous, and dangerously fragile. Osteoporosis is often called a silent disease because it has no symptoms until a fracture occurs. These fragility fractures, most commonly of the spine, hip, and wrist, can be life-altering, leading to chronic pain, disability, and a loss of independence. The musculoskeletal system, beyond the bones. The musculoskeletal system, as a whole, is also affected beyond just the bone. Many women report a significant increase in joint pain, or arthralgia, during the menopausal transition. Estrogen has anti-inflammatory properties and plays a role in the health of cartilage and synovial fluid, which lubricates the joint. The loss of estrogen can lead to an increase in inflammation, resulting in widespread aches and pains in the hands, knees, shoulders, and other joints that can be a surprising and unwelcome new symptom. Alongside this, the age-related loss of muscle mass, a condition known as sarcopenia, accelerates during menopause. Postmenopausal women are at a particularly high risk for developing sarcopenia, primarily due to the significant decline in estrogen level. Estrogen plays a crucial role in maintaining muscle mass by modulating protein synthesis and mitochondrial function. Its decline after menopause accelerates muscle deterioration, leading to increased frailty and a higher risk of falls and fractures. This not only slows metabolism, but can also lead to a decrease in overall strength, stability, and balance, which, when combined with weaker bones, further increases the risk of falls and fractures. The changes in the cardiovascular system represent a major shift in a woman's long-term health risk profile. During the reproductive years, estrogen provides a significant degree of cardiovascular protection. It helps to keep blood vessels flexible and dilated by promoting the production of nitric oxide, a potent vasodilator. It also has a positive effect on the cholesterol profile, typically helping to keep LDL bad cholesterol low and HDL good cholesterol high. After menopause, this estrogen-based protection is lost. As a result, a woman's cardiovascular risk profile begins to change. Her LDL cholesterol and triglycerides often rise, while her HDL cholesterol may fall. Her blood pressure may begin to creep up, and her blood vessels can become stiff. These changes are the primary reason why a woman's risk of heart attack and stroke increases dramatically after menopause, eventually catching up to and even surpassing that of men. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women, and the menopausal transition is a critical time to focus on heart-healthy lifestyle habits. Metabolic and endocrine recalibration. The entire endocrine system, the network of glands that produce hormones, has to adapt to the new post-ovarian reality. Body composition and thyroid function. There is a complex interplay between sex hormones and the thyroid gland. It is not uncommon for women in midlife to develop an underactive thyroid, a condition called hypothyroidism. The symptoms of hypothyroidism, such as fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, and hair loss, overlapped significantly with the symptoms of menopause, sometimes making it difficult to distinguish between the two. It is essential to have thyroid function checked, as an untreated thyroid issue can exacerbate menopausal symptoms. The body's stress response system, regulated by the adrenal glands, also plays a new role. After the ovaries retire, the adrenal glands become a more significant source for producing precursors to sex hormones. This is why managing stress is so critical during this time. Chronically high levels of the stress hormone cortisol can tax the adrenal glands, potentially impacting the secondary hormone production and worsening symptoms. Furthermore, the loss of estrogen leads to a fundamental shift in body composition, with a tendency to gain fat that is preferentially stored in the abdomen as visceral fat, a known risk factor for metabolic disease. The immune system also undergoes a recalibration during menopause. Estrogen is an immune modulator, meaning it helps to regulate the immune response. The changes in hormone levels can alter immune function. Estrogen helps control inflammation by reducing pro-inflammatory cytokines, and when its levels drop, these cytokines can increase, leading to chronic inflammation and higher immune system activation. This state of low-grade, chronic inflammation associated with aging is sometimes referred to as inflammation. For some women, this may lead to an increased susceptibility to certain infections, while for others, it can be a time when autoimmune conditions, where the immune system mistakenly attacks the body's own tissues, can be newly diagnosed or worse. Conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and Hashimoto's thyroiditis may be triggered or exacerbated during this time of immune dysregulation. The hormonal shifts of menopause can directly impact gut function. Progesterone, for instance, has a relaxing effect on smooth muscle throughout the body, including the intestine. As progesterone levels decline, some women experience changes in gut motility, which can lead to an increase in constipation, gas, and bloating. There is also a fascinating and emerging area of research focusing on the estrobolome, a specific collection of bacteria in the gut that is responsible for metabolizing and regulating the body's circulating estrogen. These bacteria produce an enzyme called beta-glucuronidase, which can reactivate estrogen that has been metabolized by the liver, allowing it to be reabsorbed into the bloodstream. Changes in the hormonal state can alter the composition of the gut microbiome, and conversely, an unhealthy gut microbiome can affect hormone balance, creating a complex feedback loop. The genitourinary system is also profoundly affected. The tissues of the vagina and vulva are extremely rich in estrogen receptors. The loss of estrogen leads to a condition called genitourinary syndrome of menopause, GSM, where the vaginal walls become thinner, less elastic, and more fragile. Natural lubrication decreases significantly, and the vaginal pH also changes, becoming less acidic. This is due to a decline in the population of beneficial lactobacillus bacteria, which thrive in an estrogen-rich environment. This combination of factors leads to common and distressing symptoms like vaginal dryness, itching, burning, and pain during sexual intercourse. The thinning of urinary tissues can also lead to increased urgency, frequency, and a higher susceptibility to recurrent urinary tract infection. The integumentary system, skin and hair. It promotes the production of collagen and elastin, the proteins that give skin its thickness, firmness, and elasticity. It also helps with skin hydration by increasing the production of hyaluronic acid. Studies have shown that about 30% of skin collagen is lost in the first 5 years after menopause, with a continued decline of about 2% each year after that. This leads to skin becoming thinner, drier, less firm, and more prone to wrinkling. Hair is also affected. The shift in the ratio of estrogen to androgens can sometimes lead to a thinning of the hair on the scalp, while paradoxically, some women may notice the growth of coarse, dark hairs on their chin or upper lip. Conclusion: the menopausal transition is a comprehensive biological process that touches every part of the body. Leading medical organizations, including the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, ASA/GYM, emphasize that while menopause is a natural event, the health consequences of estrogen deficiency are significant and deserve proactive management. Understanding these changes is not meant to be a source of fear. Instead, this knowledge is a powerful blueprint. It allows you to understand that your symptoms are real and physiologically based. It highlights the importance of specific health screenings, such as bone density scans and cardiovascular risk assessment, and it empowers you to have informed conversations with your doctor about a wide range of strategies, from lifestyle interventions to medical therapies, that can help you manage your symptoms, mitigate your long-term health risks, and thrive in the decades to come.